A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I am Arundhati Mudanayaka together with our interpreter this evening, Taraka Gabriel. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
JVP prepares to go to court against the findings of the Presidential Commission that probed political victimization. Child beaten to death at a witchcraft ritual center. Quarantine lifted in a number of areas. Ordinary level examination to be held at 4,513 centers. 40 special examination centers established. Revelation on large-scale deforestation at World Heritage Site, the Knuckles Mountain Range. MP Chandima displeased by the government's conduct.
අද ජනතාව රජය සහ පොහොට්ටුව වැළඳගෙන නෙමෙයි ඉන්නේ. ජනතාව බිම්මට්ටමින් අපිව පිළිකුල් කරන පට්ටමට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ.
And now the stories in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended an event held at the Hambantota Divisional Secretariat yesterday.
The Yativarabiman felicitation ceremony of the Sasana-Rakshaka Balamandalaya of the Hambantota district was held yesterday under the auspices of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Mahasangha were felicitated for their dedicated service of 7 years towards the Sasana-Rakshaka Balamandalaya. No matter how dedicated our venerable Theras are, the recognition and value given to our hard work is very limited. We carry out our duties amidst many hardships, criticisms and insults. Organizing such an event is a strength to all our venerable Theras. Our constant endeavor is to help create a better society. We believe Dhamma schools play an important role in making our children responsible citizens. The majority of prison inmates are those who had not attended Dhamma schools. We believe the guidance and education provided through the Dhamma school system inculcates discipline in children, ultimately creating a righteous society. We will always appreciate the hard work and sacrifice of venerable Theras. Be it on a Sunday or a Poya day, carrying out religious activities more regularly will prompt the public to embrace a more spiritual life. This would, in turn, reduce the number of crimes committed in the country.
More headline-making stories come your way on the other side of this short commercial break. Stay with News First.
Do your online shopping now with Sambole.lk to get it home delivered or pick up on your way.
Sambole.lk.
Back to the news. Venerable Narampanawayananda Thera of the Yaskiri Mahapirivena says certain recommendations put forward in the report of the Presidential Commission appointed to probe the April attacks cannot be accepted. The Venerable Thera expressed these views when ruling party MP Wasantayapa Bandara called on the Venerable Thera.
This report of the Presidential Commission appointed to probe the April attacks is misleading. This report will create a wrong picture in the eyes of the international community and mislead them to thinking that the Sinhala Buddhist community is responsible for the attacks. There was a rise in extremist ideologies in the country. This report fails to capture the background factors that contributed to the rise in such ideologies. The report does not speak of the entities responsible for the attack or whether such entities had local or foreign involvement. The report must clearly identify the masterminds behind the attack. Instead of including such important information, the report points fingers at the former president and former IGP. We will not accept the recommendations put forward in this report.
අපි ආරක්ෂාවේ කප්පිත්තෝ ජව සම්පන්නයි සූර වීරයි ආයි බියක් නැහැ එඩිතරයි 30 අවුරුදු යුද්ධයක් නැසුවා සාරාල්ලගේ මොළකාරයෝ හොයනවා දඬුවම් ටික දෙනවා.
Mahinda Rajapaksa and his party pledged to punish those responsible for the April 21st attacks. It has been 1 year and 4 months, but the perpetrators are yet to be punished. The report of the commission has now been presented, but this report is misleading and does not disclose the truth. Where is Sarah? the wife of one of the suicide bombers involved in the attack. Where are the masterminds behind the attack? The Commission's report only includes information that we are already aware of. The public already knows that the former president put the country in danger. They know about Ranil Wickremesinghe, but the public wants to know about the masterminds responsible for the attack. They came into power after creating a racial conflict in the country and sacrificing the lives of innocent people.
ජාතිවාදී අවුස්සන ආගම්වාදී අවුස්සනවා ජීවිත බිල්ලට ගන්නවා කට්ටිය බලයට එනවා බලයට ඇවිල්ලා ඇත්ත එක වහනවා දැන් අපිට පේනවා මේ වාර්තාවේ කොටස් හැලිලා වගේ පේනවා උදාහරණයකට
The Commission's report on the April 21st attacks is incomplete. This report omits important information such as the whereabouts of Sara and those who helped her to flee the country. The report does not include matters pertaining to the government financially supporting Zahran. We are aware that those who fail to take action even after receiving information before the attacks should be punished. But what about the masterminds responsible for the attack? There are members in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and my former party who failed to take timely action and prevent the attack from taking place. I am sure that further investigations will identify certain factions within the ruling party to be involved in the attack as well. The report has cleared everyone in the Samagi Jana Balawegya from being involved in this.
හරිද එතකොට සමගි ජන බලවේගය නිදොස් කොට නිර්දෝෂී කරලා තියෙනවා
කාගේ උවමනාවට කාගේ හෝ බලපෑමකට තමයි මේ කොමිෂන් සභාව වාර්තාව ඉදිරිපත්
This report has been influenced according to the agendas of certain factions. The Executive Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party unanimously rejects and condemns this report.
යුතුව අපි හෙලා දකින බව අපේ විධායක සභාව ඒකමතික තීන්දුවක් ගත්තා පක්ෂයක් හැටියට අපි ඉන්නේ මතේ.
උනත් ආණ්ඩුව ඇතුලේ යම් විවිධ මත ඇති කරන්න කණ්ඩායම් උත්සාහ කරනවා අපිට පේන්න තියෙනවා.
Certain factions are attempting to create a rift within the party. Members of the former government who stood with the victims of the April attacks are now members of the ruling party. So when this report reveals certain information, instead of facing legal action, they are resorting to crippling the government. Many politicians in the recent past did not look into the welfare of the people who voted for them. They were only concerned about their personal agendas. We all had to work very hard to come to power.
ජනතාවගේ සුභසිද්ධිය බැලුවේ නැහැ. තමන්ගේ පෞද්ගලිකත්වය බැලුවේ. හින්දා අපි අමාරුවෙන් ගත්ත ආණ්ඩුවක් මේ ආණ්ඩුව.
රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ට ඕන උනේ මේ ප්‍රහාරයේ සැලසුම කාගේද? මේ ප්‍රහාරය කරේ කවුද?
The general public wants to know about the masterminds responsible for the attack. Astun was the man who bombed the Katuapitiya church. Sara is the wife of Astun. Sara is an Indian national. She fled to India. Why didn't the Presidential Commission summon Sara to testify at the Commission? No diplomatic level intervention was initiated to get Sara extradited from India. The wife of Zahran was questioned for only a day. Subsequently, she tested positive for COVID-19. She was then directed to a quarantine center. Even after recovering, she was not resummoned to testify. The Deputy Inspector General of the CID, Ravi Seneviratne, said that investigations were not complete. He said there is an invisible force intervening in this matter and that they must further look into this matter. Ravi Seneviratne and Shania Besekara were of the stance that there was an unidentified mastermind behind the attack. But did the government investigate this? No. Did the CID team that was appointed to look into this investigate this incident? No. The CID members involved in the case were transferred and all operations were crippled. Some are now claiming that a certain powerful political entity had tampered with this report. So what's the point in having such a report?
දැන් හාමුදුරුවෝ ඇවිල්ලා එළියට කියනවා ආණ්ඩුව අලුතෙන් ගන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්න දේශපාලන ලොක්කෙක් පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ වාර්තාව වෙනස් කරා කියලා. ඉතින් මෙහෙම වාර්තාවක් අපිට ඕනද?
The fifth phase of the opposition leaders' mobile service initiative was held in Hambantota today.
Area residents of Bandagiriya informed the opposition leader about the issues that they face. Speaking at the event, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that the government would be questioned as to why the masterminds of the April 21st attacks were not revealed.
මං අහන්න කැමති ඇයි මේ වර්තමාන රජය මේ රටටත් ජනතාවටත් බොරු කරන්නේ?
Why is the current government lying to the general public? Why is the government reluctant to expose the masterminds responsible for the April 21st attacks? Why are they not being transparent? Did 6.9 million Sri Lankans cast their vote so that the government could sweep this matter under the carpet? Is the government using this incident as a political tool to gain advantage? We have learned that certain factions involved in the attacks have fled the country. While the people of this country lost a lot due to this attack, another faction gained from it.
මේ පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයෙන් හානිය වුණේ ජනතාවට වාසිය ලැබුණේ තව කොට්ටාසයකට.
The Janata Vimukti Peramana is preparing to take legal action against a report compiled by the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into political victimization.
එනිසා මේ දේශපාලන පරිගැනීම් පිළිබඳ කොමිෂන් සභා වාර්තාව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න කියලා අවස්ථා ගණනාවක්.
The Speaker was informed on several occasions to present the report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into political victimization. When we inquired about this from the Presidential Secretariat under the Right to Information Act, they said that it can't be provided. It's not even being provided to the people. Cabinet decisions are taken to release criminals, withdraw cases, and to appoint special presidential commissions. We have a legitimate right to obtain the report of the commission. The commission report is not about a land dispute of the Rajapaksa family. We are not criminals, nor the ones who wasted public money. We are ready to face a proper mechanism. Gotabaya Rajapaksa should remember that we are not ready to bend down to the decisions taken according to his fancies by the commission. We are hoping to go to court against these illegal activities this week. Gotabaya Rajapaksa must remember that no matter who is intimidated, neither me nor my party will succumb to this.
කවුරු බය කරලා තියාගත්තා. ඒ අනීති ක්‍රියාවලියට මාහු මගේ පක්ෂය හු යටත් නොවන බව ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයා දැනගත යුතුයි.
Time for a short commercial break. Stay with News First. We will be right back.
Do your online shopping now with Sambole.lk to get it home delivered or pick up on your way.
Sambole.lk.
Taking a look at other local stories, a number of deaths were reported in the past due to activities related to witchcraft in the island. Today, another such unfortunate incident related to the practice of witchcraft claimed the life of a 9-year-old child. This incident was reported from Delgoda.
Mohammed Rinat Fatima Rizka, a resident of Kanduboda, was taken to a witchcraft ritual center after she was said to have been possessed by a demonic spirit.
බඩ යකෙක් ඉන්නවා පලයන් කියලා ගානවා. එතකොට ඉවසගන්න බැරි තරමට තමයි ඊයේ වන්වන්නේට කෝල් කරේ. කෝල් කරලා ඉතින් මාත්‍ර ආවා ඉතින්. එතකොටත් ළමයා මැරලා ගෙවල් 14ම අපි ඇවිල්ලා උසාවියේ ඇවිල්ලා අපි ඇවිල්ලා ගෙවල් 14ම සාක්ෂියක් දෙන්න අපි කැමතියි.
නේ එකට ඉඳලා ගාලා තියෙන යාට. ආයෙනකට ළමයා මෙරි ඊට පස්සේ සද්ද නැහැ කෙල්ලගේ සද්ද නැහැ. 10 මට ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරා ළමයට තනිප නැහැ කියලා. අරන් ගියා බියෝම ඉස්පිරිතාලේ. අරන් ගිහලා බාර දීච්චම දත්තමත්ත බලපගම් කිව්වා මේ ළමයා මැරලා කියලා.
ලිස්ටියක් වගේ ආවයි කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. එහෙම දෙයක් එන්න මගේ ළමයට එහෙම දෙයක් නැහැ. මම මට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඒක සාතිය කරලා කියන්න පුළුවන් මගේ ළමයා ඒ තරම් ඇක්ටිව් වෙනවා.
The Mahara acting magistrate Vasantha Ramanayaka conducted the ministerial inquiry at the scene of the crime.
සද්දය වුණා ගාන්න එපා කියලා වේවල් පාරවල් ගාලා දෙන අයියෝ ඇන්ටි ගාන්න එපා කියලා සදවල් ලැබුණා මට.
දැන් පොලිසියට ඔය සම්බන්ධව සම්පූර්ණ
ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා ගෙවල් 14ම එනවා අපි උසාවියට.
The youngest in a family of 3, Fatima Rizka, was 9 years old at the time of her untimely demise. The mother of the deceased child and the female shaman who is said to have conducted the ritual were taken into police custody.
By using these irregular methods to treat certain diseases will not only end in death, but there is also a bad impression created in the society. So everyone should be vigilant about this. There are many institutions that claim to conduct treatments through witchcraft, but in the end, the relatives of the people who seek the treatment here will have to suffer the consequences of losing their loved ones.
Save Rambakan Noya.
The ecosystem in Rambakanoe is being discussed broadly these days. We continue to report on thousands of acres of land from this area being handed over to a number of private companies because of the importance of this ecosystem and its historic value. Many historic and scientific factors that to date remain undiscovered are hidden within these sensitive areas. Thousands of medicinal plants since the time of King Buddhadasa safely grew here. A destruction of this forest means the inevitable destruction of all of these valuable plants and species. On the other hand, the lives of the people in this area that are closely connected with this ecosystem are also left in disarray. A group of people severely affected by the clearing of lands in Rambakanoe contacted us, and this is their story.
The livelihoods of dairy farmers have fallen from bad to worse with the destruction of the forests in Rambakanoe. These people have no place to herd their cattle. The main livelihood of the residents of the Mahaoya Divisional Secretariat is dairy farming. According to these people, the dairy farmers of the Mahaoya Divisional Secretariat contribute the highest amount of milk to the local dairy industry.
The cows have no water to drink. The cows do not have pastures to graze upon. Companies that have taken over these lands for the cultivation of maize have put up fences on lands that our cattle grazed on.
260 families in the Pollebadda village that depend on dairy farming are now stuck between a wall and a hard place. The farmers here demand for their issues to be addressed so that they can continue to engage in dairy farming, the livelihood handed down to them by their forefathers.
They have constructed electric fences and surrounded all water sources that our cows used to drink from. The animals have no food to eat. It is very hard for us to find food for our cattle. We request the officials to give us back our lands so that we can continue to engage in dairy farming. The JVP expressed these views regarding the reasons behind the current destruction of forests taking place in Sri Lanka.
A
plot of 800,000 acres of forest land has been removed from the protection afforded to forests through a gazette. There are about 400 to 500 very rich people in Sri Lanka. These people make a request saying, "Sir, please give us a plot of about 40 to 50,000 acres. Then what does Sir do? He gazettes a plot of 800,000 acres of forest land, calling them land instead of forests. 62,500 acres from the Nilgala forest was handed over to the owner of Avantgarde to cultivate corn. You can't hand over land to the rich businessman and also be sensitive to the environment at the same time. What happens when an already rich person takes over about 500 acres and cultivate on it? Where will the water come from? There are plots of land cultivated in Valikanda that have been taken over by the rich. These lands have been surrounded by 10 rounds of wire and electric fences. Elephants don't even sight these lands. What will happen then? The elephants will smell food in these areas, and the elephants will come in herds. But when they cannot reach the rich man's cultivations, the elephants will go into the small cultivations of the ordinary people. A 4,000-acre plot of land in Monaragala has been handed over for a banana cultivation. In Vanathavilluva, a 1,000-acre plot has been handed over to a company. The farmers don't have water, but the companies have the money and the technology. They dig massive tube wells and pump over 5,000 to 10,000 litres per day, or bribe the officials and take large amounts of water from the water sources. What is this policy?
Construction of a building has begun in the Pitawala Patana area located in the Knuckles mountain range. The environmental organizations claim that endemic species of fauna and flora have been destroyed due to those engaged in the construction activities, cutting down trees in the area. Pitawala Patana is known for its rare varieties of plants and animals like Kandulassa, Nilmonarassa, several varieties of Patanyam and the Dumbara Galpara frog. The strong winds in the Dumbara mountain range have uprooted plants aged over thousands of years. A group of journalists visited Pitawala Patana today.
අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒ හදට ඒවා කෑම කණ්ඩායි টয়ලට්ුයි ඔෆිස් කාමරේකුයි
එක්ක අපි දැක්කනේ පතන ඉතින් වට තියෙන ගස් එහෙමත් කපලා තියෙනවානේ. මේ අලුතෙන් හදන කොටක ඔව්
ඉතින් කැපෙනවා මේ ගස් ටික ඔක්කොම ගෙදරනවා.
මේවා පුරාණ වැරණි ගස් නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ.
ඔව් ඉතින් ඒවත් ජල වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවට මොකද්ද කරන්න කියන එක මට කියන්න බෑ.
මේවකට බලන්නේ නැද්ද කවුරුත්?
අනේ මන්දා මේවා ගැන මොකද්ද කියලා අපිට කියන්න බෑ.
The Knuckles Mountain Range, which is a highly sensitive zone, was included in the UNESCO Natural World Heritage List in 2010 as part of the Central Highlands of Sri Lanka. The organisation to protect Dumbara points out that permission must be obtained from the relevant authorities prior to carrying out any construction activity in the Pitavalla Patana area. The organisation to protect Dumbara claims that approval to clear trees for the construction project has already been granted by the Forest Conservation Department. The environmental group also alleges that the construction activities are being carried out by the government. The group of journalists who visited the area inquired from a technical officer about the project.
අවුරුදු 500ක් පරණ ගස් ටික ඉවත් කපලා දාලා තියෙනවානේ. ඒ සඳහා පරිසරවාදීන් වාර්තාවක් හරි මොකක් හරි අරන් තියෙනවද දැන්? ඔව්. මේකන්නේ. අපිට කොහෙන්ද ඒක බලන්න පුළුවන්? මේක බලන්න පුළුවන් මේ අපේ පල්ලේ පරිසර මේක ඔෆිස් එකේ තියෙනවා. මෙතන තියෙනවද?
අද බහලානේ. අද බහලා.
කුඹරේ අපේ මේකේ ලොකු ගස් කැපුවේ නැහැ. මේකේ අයින් කරලා දෙන්න එයාලා ෆොරස්ට් එකේ කට්ටිය අපිට ඇප්‍රෝල් දුන්න ගස් පොඩි පැලෑටි වගේ ඇත්තිට. ඒ ටික අයින් කරලා මේ අඩුම මේ ගස් ටිකක් කැපෙන විදිහේ තමයි මේ ලොකේෂන් එක අපිට සිලෙක්ට් කරලා දෙන්නේ.
A nuga tree planted in 1996 located close to the Crudia zelenica tree that was recently saved at the brink of destruction has been set ablaze. The tree had been planted commemorating the construction of the Japan Friendship Bridge built in 1996 in Daralua.
අවුරුදු දෙක තුනක ඉඳලා විඩ ගින්දර තියලා ගහ මැරුවා. ගහ මරලා දැන් අන්තිම ප්‍රතිඵලය තමයි ගහ දෙපැත්තටම වැටලා ගියා. දැන් මිනිසුන්ට යන්න විදිහකුත් නැහැ. ශාක විනාශ කළා හරිය නැහැ. ශාකය කියන්නේ මේ මුළු විශ්වයටමයි සම්පතක් නෙමේ මේක. දැන් ওই ශාකය ওই තත්ත්වයට උසට හදාගන්න තව අවුරුදු කීයක් යනවද අපි?
One suspect has been arrested in connection to the incident. The suspect is an officer attached to a government department.
This is the Vadamune Bridge in Velikanda, Polonnaruwa. This bridge, which is the shortest route from Velikanda to Vadamune and Uchihena villages, is on the brink of collapsing. Locals cite illegal sand mining as the reason for this, which has resulted in the destruction of its surrounding ecosystem as well.
Illegal sand mining is taking place on a large scale. The large sand deposits used to reach the concrete layer of the bridge.
The locals claim that in the event the bridge collapses, they will be forced to travel an additional 19 kilometers to use an alternative route. The extraction of sand from both sides of the bridge has led to the destruction of the surrounding ecosystem as well.
This situation is a result of issuing licenses to mining companies without carrying out a proper environmental impact study. Look at the state of the Vadamune Bridge. We lodged a complaint with the relevant authorities and obtained a restraining order preventing mining from taking place within a distance of 1 kilometer from both sides of the bridge. Licenses should be issued in a systematic manner after an environmental impact assessment. It is unfortunate that such destruction is taking place even after obtaining a restraining order and submitting the documents to the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau. The mass-scale sand mining has resulted in soil erosion. Before long, the streams and rivers will dry out. The locals and animals residing in the area will not have water or food to live.
Against a backdrop where hour-long water cuts are imposed in many areas, including Colombo on certain days, a rupture in a pipeline in Kalani has caused a massive water leakage.
Water has been leaking from this ruptured pipe belonging to the National Water Supply and Drainage Board near the Dalugama Junction in Kalania along the Colombo-Kandy main road. The Kalania Provincial Office of the Water Supply and Drainage Board is located less than a kilometre away. A notice board stating that the relevant authorities were informed of this ruptured pipe 2 weeks ago is on display at the location.
නැහැ. 24 ම වතුර කපනවා වතුර නැහැ කියනවා මෙන්න බලන්න මහත්තයෝ වතුර බුබුල්ල.
අද උදේත් කෝල් කරා මේ කඩේගේ අයිතිකාරයන. ඒ තාම නෑ ආවේ. අපේ රටේ මුදල් තමයි මේ අපතේ යන්නේ. මේවට සල්ලි ගෙවන්නේ අපි.
Recently, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board announced that due to the prevalent dry climate and the subsequent drying up of water sources, the amount of drinking water supplied will be limited. News First have reported on several incidents where people in many areas are suffering without a drop of water to quench their thirst. People of Sunilagama Polgahavela village is a perfect example of the plight faced by many people in Sri Lanka due to the lack of water. Against a backdrop where access to clean water is a luxury many Sri Lankans cannot afford, can we afford to waste water like this? Is this acceptable?
The Commissioner General of Examinations, Sanat Pujita, said that all arrangements have been made for the 2020 GCE Ordinary Level Examination. The exam will commence tomorrow and conclude on the 10th of March.
According to the Commissioner General, a total of 622,352 candidates, including school students and private candidates, will sit for the examination, which will be held across 4,513 examination centres. He adds that 2 special examination centres have been allocated in each district due to the risk of COVID-19. Accordingly, 40 special examination centres have been established across the island. According to the SLTB, special transport facilities have been arranged for the candidates sitting for the examination. The exam centres were disinfected today. The Minister of Education, along with several officials, visited the Maliyadeva Model School in Kurunegala today.
All arrangements have been made in compliance with health guidelines. Priority has been given to the health of all students. We are trying our best to release the results of the ordinary level exam by June this year and to commence advanced level classes in July. Proper health facilities have not been set up at the exam centres. 46,000 staff members have been assigned for this week, but none of the exam centres have been provided with face masks. 4,000 exam centres lack facilities to wash hands. We urge the Commissioner General of Examinations to pay more attention towards the health security of our children.
The National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19 outbreak said several areas belonging to the Kathankudi health jurisdiction in the Batticaloa district will be released from isolation at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Chief of the Task Force, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said Gafur Road, Mohinar Road, Sinnathona Road and First Cross Road of Telecom Mawatha will be released from isolation. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 inoculation program continued across the island today.
The inoculation programs were conducted with priority being given to high-risk zones within the Western Province. Vaccination programs were carried out at approximately 100 locations within the Gampaha district. Our correspondent said the vaccination program was carried out at 5 locations within the Gampaha MOH division today for individuals above the age of 30. The inoculation program was also carried out for individuals above the age of 30 in the Galagedara East Grama division of Padukka. The vaccination program will continue tomorrow as well. 35,343 individuals received the COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. To date, 441,976 individuals across the island have received the COVID-19 vaccine. Minister Namal Rajapaksa says Sri Lanka will become the first country in the South Asian region to have vaccinated a majority of its population.
The COVID-19 vaccines have now been imported to the country and the inoculation process has already begun in a systematic manner. Our target is to ensure that all vulnerable groups are vaccinated. Sri Lanka will become the first country in the world and in the South Asian region to have completed the inoculation of all vulnerable groups and a majority of its population. We are fully committed to revive the economy of the country.
Parliamentarian Chandama Virakodi from the governing party expressed his displeasure over not receiving an invitation to the Habaradu electorate Balamandala meeting yesterday.
පොහොට්ටුව කියන්නේ බොහොම පටු විදියට හිතන දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් වුණොතින්
If the Port Tour becomes a party that thinks very narrowly, the people will move away from the party. If the political situation in the Galle electorate is so narrow that an MP is not invited to the Balamandala meeting, the journey of the Port Tour will be rough. The government must understand that the people are not with the government or the Port Tour. The people at the grassroots despise us. Even at a time like that, if we cannot unite and discuss a program for the country, and if the Port Tour continues to say that we are unnecessary, we will stand with the people. No one can chase us away from where the people stand. They tried to push us away from the people during the elections as well, but the people didn't push us away. If they try to push us away, I believe that all forces are uniting now to not only push away the Port Tour, but also the government. We must understand this. I would like to question the people who are trying to push us away. Just because you have been placed in a position of power for 5 years, should you work against the wishes of the people?
Sri Lanka has been ranked 94th in the Corruption Perceptions Index for 2020. Sri Lanka was ranked 93rd in the index in 2019.
The index, published by Transparency International, measures perceived levels of public sector corruption in 180 countries around the world against a score of 100. According to the scale, the higher the score, the less corrupt the government is perceived to be. With a score of 38, Sri Lanka shares the rank with Brazil, Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, Peru, Serbia, Suriname and Tanzania. Sri Lanka's score of 38 has remained stagnant at that level for approximately a decade. Denmark and New Zealand were ranked number 1 with a score of 88, followed by Finland, Singapore, Sweden and Switzerland that came in third with a score of 85. Syria, Somalia, South Sudan and Yemen came in last with scores below 15.